Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to Perfecting the Practice of Teaching. My name is Paloma Moreno, and I'll be your host for today. PLN. Let's talk about it. You're probably like, oh no, another teaching acronym? Well, take it from me and add this one to your list because it will help you at some point in your teaching career like it's helped me. As teachers, we may think we know it all since we are the ones feeding children knowledge, but what if the tables turned and we learn from other teachers? PLN stands for Professional Learning Networks. These are networks that people in the education field use to collaborate, discuss, and learn from one another to support each other in having students reach academic success. Being a teacher is not an easy task, and I think we can all agree to this. This is why professional learning networks were created. Sometimes we need different ideas to help us when teaching. Not long ago, I was teaching a lesson on perimeter. My students kept getting area and perimeter confused until one of the professional learning networks I had joined, a teacher shared a great video with a fun song for students to learn to differentiate area from perimeter. And once I added it to my presentation the following day, students had great results and were no longer getting them confused. This not only works for academics, but supports us in tackling social issues in the classroom. I would like to give a shout out to brainson.org for an amazing podcast titled Injustice and Anger Understanding Your Emotions podcast. This podcast helped me learn how to support my students that felt these emotions, which was also shared by a teacher on a professional learning network who had shared her difficulties with this topic in her classroom and how this podcast was able to also support her. On this website, there were also many other podcasts that could help create new ideas when teaching or simply teaches us to hear how students think or what their interests are. Resources, don't we just love them? Anything to help us help those tiny brains start working, which are also able to be shared on these networks. I was looking for an engaging read for my students, so I posted a question of any books that teachers would recommend me when teaching inferences, since most students have difficulty with this topic and had so many wonderful suggestions shared with me by teachers who had success when teaching this topic with the books they suggested. As a first year teacher, professional learning networks have been a wonderful tool I have utilized when creating my lessons or when trying to find resources to support my students. For example, when STAR was approaching, I wanted to find something that would be fun for students, still but would still help them learn. And I remembered a teacher on a professional learning network had shared links to websites that had engaging math games for my students. Not only did it keep them busy, but it was helping them get an extra practice before the test arrived. I mean, come on, as a teacher who doesn't enjoy positive academic growth and having those resources, ideas, assignments, or books shared with you in order to have the same results. This is the reason I wanted to do the same with you and inform you about the amazing benefits professional learning networks have. I would 10 out of 10 recommend you joining one. We're teachers, we like to teach, but it's also good for us to keep learning. And from who else than those that are in the same field as us and experience similar, if not the same difficulties. Now, I will leave you with this quote to think about. In learning, you will teach, and in teaching, you will learn. By Phil Collins. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast today, and remember to subscribe. Thank you.